I pulled Brian aside at the conclusion of the game against Salt Lake, and I said, "You're my guy." And we still got a lot of, didn't elaborate beyond that, and we had to sit down later, and and we have a contract that's at least been roughly agreed at this point, and we knew we had a bunch of stuff to clean up. But look, this also, I don't mean to take away any of the drama, but I mean, Brian and I have been working together for 3 months, and we talk pretty much every day. And you got to do that to build a relationship, and you got to do it because, in a coach job and a GM job, you figure out pretty quickly that you're going to succeed or fail together. And with all the stuff we had to do, integrating new players, integrating new attitude in the locker room, things like that. We worked together. We had developed a really good working relationship, and there was a transition period where there was one day like in my office, like 3 or 4 days in, sat down and he was like, "Look, I'm a new coach. Like we got to start this relationship almost over. Like it's different than when I was an assistant." And I said, "Fair enough." And so we kind of had a clean start from that moment, and I think that was really critical to the development of our working relationship. And so we had talked about this. I told him how he was doing. I told him he was doing a great job. I think I made some positive comments along the way in the press as well. Said from the get-go, if all things equal, I'd love to not go to a fifth coach in 5 years. And look, at the end of the day, he earned it, man. I mean, he earned it. I mean, he was lights out. I mean, and he, Coach Schmetzer correctly says players first, and it absolutely is true. And, we suits don't kick a ball or kick one out of the net, but and it is all about the players, especially this time of year. But Coach Schmetzer did a great job. He earned this job. I've enjoyed working with him, and I look forward to continuing to work with him.
Garth, when did you feel you start thinking how to make the decision, kind of go backwards in time here? After the KC game, it's obvious to us, but when did you start kind of having those uneasiness or thoughts?
Look, there wasn't a moment, and I don't want to dwell a lot on the past. I'd just simply say that, what I've said before, which is that for me, this was the second time that the team collapsed in 18 months. We had gone through the summer in 15 and had the stretch of, scored 3 goals, I think won 2 games out of 11. And I felt like we were repeating the same movie, and that's what led me to think, maybe we need to do some things a little bit differently.
What is about Brian? He's hardworking when he gets the game, but what are some of those intangibles that you said, that's the guy right there? Is it his locker room presence, humility?
It's everything. It's what you just saw today. I mean, it's this incredible connection with the community, and you can look on paper and be like 36 years. 36 years with one club. But you don't know what that means, right? And you live it and you work it. And again, that's a true analogy. Like I went and sat with him, and because I knew of Brian. I didn't know Brian very well when I took the job, but I went in his office. I sat down. And I said, "Look, I know how to say the right things. That I appreciate being here, and I'm excited to be here, and I want to start, and I want to embrace this. But I don't understand. How could I? I haven't lived in this community. I haven't been part of this team." And so I sat with him. I said, "Tell me about this culture. Talk to me about what it's meant to you and how important it is." And he'll tell you, like, periodically over the last 18 months or 2 years, I've gone and checked in and say, "Hey, look, there's this message out there in the public. There's this message in the locker. Like, how is this being? How do you interpret this? How is this being received?" And he's been really helpful to me along the way. And so, there's been these little things that have built up in terms of our working relationship, all in a positive manner. And so, Brian is the best fit you could possibly have for this organization. And you add that to what he's accomplished in terms of the turnaround and the playoff run so far. And he stood up there today and said, "And we're not finished." And that's what I want in a coach. And the fact that, and I said that up front, but I said, when guys get hurt, when things get off kilter, he says, "Okay, here's how we're going to fix it. Here's how we're going to coach him up. Here's what we're going to do to overcome this adversity." And I'm really appreciative of that as a general manager as well.
Did you sense at all the interim tag and stressful on him in regards to his future through this whole process?
I mean, in the sense that he would come in and check in and say, how am I doing every once in a while? Sure. I mean, it's obvious, right? Nobody wants to be the interim. And likewise, it's incumbent upon me as the GM to try to take away some of that stress, right? And to have those conversations along the way and be like, this isn't black or white. And by the way, you open your test envelope 3 months later and it's pass or fail, right? I mean, you encourage and you support and you make collective decisions, and again, hopefully you show some things in the way that you manage where Brian feels more comfortable. I have no doubt that he was still stressed. I probably was too. But this whole thing came together, and look, it's the players, it's the coach, it's all these things coming together that have turned our season around. I mean, it's by points, as I understand it, the biggest comeback in MLS history. So we haven't accomplished anything yet. I mean, we made it to the playoffs again, and that's great to keep that alive, but our goals are bigger than that. And we have an opportunity in Dallas this weekend to keep it going, and that's what we're all going to try to compete for.
Did you know from the beginning that the playoffs were the bar for Brian to make it?
Generally, I'd say yeah. I don't know that it was black and white. Like had he missed on the last day on a 90-minute goal, if we had won 4 games the rest of the season, then that's probably different. But again, he went from from our team being at 1 point a game to our team averaging 2 points a game, and that's just an undeniable distinction and difference and improvement. And for sure, as Brian would be quick to say, some of that's on the players. A lot of it's on the players. But again, I think Brian was very successful in creating the locker room culture that he did and empowering the players and, appealing to their pride and saying, look, we're going to go as far as you take us. And so far, those players have really held up their end of the bargain, and they've taken us quite a distance.
Garth, what do you think about the uniqueness of the alliance? In fact, these guys can sit up there and give you the Caesar, thumbs up, thumbs down. It doesn't exist really anywhere else in American sports.
Yeah. Look, it's when you take the job, it's what you sign up for, and you understand it going. And again, you understand that can happen, but you don't understand or appreciate until you sit in this room, right? And you feel the passion of the audience and the enthusiasm. And look, I get a chance to talk to some of the Alliance Council members too, and I ask them what they want to hear and what they want to see, and and a lot of it, honestly, comes down to communication, explaining what we're doing, being a little bit more transparent, and saying, hey, look. At least for me, I know I'm not perfect. I know I got plenty of flaws, so I'm going to tell you what we're doing. I'm going to tell you why we're doing it, and hopefully that'll make some sense over time, and you'll see the collective strategic plan, and hopefully that eventually we'll win more games than we lose, and we'll win MLS Cups and all the stuff we said we're going to do. But it's process, and for me, I'm a process guy. I'm a lawyer, so I've spoken to you. We have to move this from 1 soccer team to 7 soccer teams. We have to have common processes if we're going to succeed as an organization, and I think that's where the league is going as well. If you look at the evolution of when the Sounders started, they had 1 or 2 DPs. I think just Freddie Lundberg maybe at first. Now they've had 3 DPs for a number of years, and now it's moved even to another phase where almost every team in the league has 3 DPs. I think it was 16 teams had 3 DPs this year, and now you have TAM guys underneath that. So the league is continuing to evolve and grow. We have to grow and evolve with it. And I think if you have a man manager and somebody who is as comfortable and familiar with the culture of Seattle and our community as Brian Schmetzer, that puts us in a really good position to succeed.